But the reason I'm a school teacher today is because of Herman Horton, and I appreciate it. I hope, Mr. Horton, the fruits of your labor is well and will help you in your thoughts about education. Because I put in, I think this is 37 years. And, you know, I still like to do it. I don't know. I might ought to quit, but my kids keep telling me not to, so my wife won't agree to support me. That's the reason I don't. Like I said, I've been gone all week. I left Tuesday morning at about 5:30 for Seattle, Washington. I spoke to the National Convention of Women's Collegiate Basketball Coaches. Now, you talk about a group to talk to. Boy, they're different. They got a lot of questions. When you open it up for questions, you better be ready to answer questions. Well, anyway, we had a good meeting. I was hoping to get stayed for the Final Four, but I'd already told Leroy I'd be here, and I'm glad I came. Anyway, I got into Denver last night, and I don't know whether you kept up with the weather or not, but Denver's had a snowflake or two this week. And I called Eddie back. That's the only phone number I had, Ed. And I called him. I said, get a hold of Leroy, tell him I'm en route. Where you at? You in Clovis? No, I'm in Denver, and I'm trying to get out to Amarillo. So anyway, I got in to my folks who still live in Carnegie about 11:30 last night, and Lord was willing, I guess, because the snow was off the highway and no highway patrols. My boss in Clovis, he doesn't know I'm here. We have a track meet today in Carlsbad, New Mexico. He doesn't know I'm not there. But you know, Mr. Hort, I've been working 37 years getting this position. If he don't like it, I can retire. I love it. When Eddie called me 2 years ago, and I wanted to come very badly, but I had a track meet in Carlsbad, and I hadn't figured out how I was going to get around the athletic director, so I couldn't come. And then Leroy called me and asked me to come, and I was more than happy to come. The first thing that I did when I got the call was try to remember the names of the youngsters who played for me. I couldn't do it. I could get up to 8, and I'd back off, and I'd rub them out, and I'd start over. Well, if I'd missed you, I didn't intend to. You know, as we go along and in life, there's a lot of things we try to forget. But guys and gals, that wasn't one of them. Those two teams, well, enough said about that. Anyway, the first thing that come to mind after trying to remember the names was this. You guys go along with me. 1950. A full house in Watonga, Oklahoma. No place for me or the players that's on the bench, old Taylor and Charlie, to sit. We're out on the out-of-bounds line. There's another group of youngsters on the other end with a big 6'7" center. I haven't figured out how we're going to stop. Jasper Kozart with the mumps. Down 1 point. Walter Montgomery at the free throw line. Who would you want to shoot, PJ? You bet. You'd want Walter. Why? If he misses it, the big guy's going to get it. But he's not going to miss. Guys, it's been 37 years. I still live that game. What did he do? He missed. no state trip as a team to play. We win, but we didn't get to play. You can't blame it on Walter. You might blame it on a rookie coach. 33-0 going into the game. My mom still got the clipping. 33-1. You know, a lot of teams like to have 33-1, but you really don't know whether you're a success or not unless you bring home the big trophy. But down deep in your heart, you look at it today, what you have done with your life, are you a success? If I had a heart attack today, Harold's here. That kind of people. That's the fruits of our efforts, Mr. Horton. We played in the 270 conference. Do they still have that? Okay. We won it. We played in the Dewey County Conference. Do they still have that? Probably not enough teams, are they? We won it. We played, would have played Woodward, but they wouldn't come across and play us. Played everybody else. Played Byside. Byside's got us down at the half. We've been playing man-to-man the whole half. Haven't done much. They got a fancy coach from Hank Iva School up Oklahoma State. Oakwood's got a little 21-year-old rookie out of Southwestern. But the one thing I knew, if you play a Hank Iva coach team, a zone defense, they have a hard time beating you. Thank you, Mr. Hort. We come back second half, we're down. We're playing a 2-1-2 zone. We're whooping anybody who wants to come in the paint. We beat them, I think, about 10 or 12. The guy from coach, he said, how'd you know to go to a zone? I said, we didn't all go to Oklahoma State. I wonder, to you people who are probably not in the game as much as I have been, has the game changed in 38 years? For most, yes. But I can tell you a statistic that you probably don't know. The boys team at Oakwood, 1950, 49-50, their offensive record was 50 points per game, average. That was unheard of. My old Carroll's down in the southwestern and southern part of the state said, boy, you must have a running machine. I said, no, I just got people that want to play. Defensive average for that team, 25. 25. That's a little Hank Iva right there. But not the 50. Yes, the game has changed. So the girls. The game has changed. What has brought about the change? Well, one thing, we're out of the Hank Iva era. Billy Tubbs never heard of Hank Iva ball. What's he scoring, 104? Is he ahead? Anybody know? All right. Excuse me? Let me know. I got my money on Oklahoma. One other thing that has changed the game. It's a different color. I have, on my team, I have 5 black young ladies. I have 2 Hispanic, Spanish. The rest are white. But you know, when they get on the court, they're all the same color. When they get off the court, they're all the same color. We stay in the same room. Oh, excuse me, no. The girls stay. I'll get to that story. The philosophy of the game has changed. Now, these guys that played for me in 49 and 50 knew that to get to C, they had to go from A to B. Now, if you can get to C and skip B, get gone. Cut across. My philosophy has changed. In 49-50, you never heard of a team that was pressing. I mean pressing defense from one end of the floor to the other. Now, we played tough half-court defense. I'd still put those guys that I had at that time against today's people if we're going to play a half-court game. They could play it. The girls that I had then here would probably been better off had they been playing 5-on-5 because we had some speed. Got a funny story. Now, a lot of you don't know this. You know, nowadays, at the half, the guys are sweeping the floor, and between the games, they're sweeping the floor. Used to, in 49 and 50, when Oakwood played, they didn't need to sweep after the girls' game. Maxine Marshall had already done it, so she'd been all over the floor. I love you, Maxine. When I was coaching here, we had 1 hour, hour and a half, and we cheated a little for practice each day. I coach girls now, as I told you in the beginning. Our practices are never less than 2.5 and usually 3 hours a day. But you know, we've been in the state tournament 11 out of the last 12 years. 11 out of the last 12 years. Now, all that time is not organized practice because the youngsters today are specialists. If they have a deficiency in their shooting, if they have a deficiency in their rebounding, when we're through with organized drills, that's what they're working on. We're there to help them. It's changed, people. For the better, I don't know. We have a lot of fun. The district that I'm in Clovis, New Mexico, the shortest distance from one school to the other in our district is 110 miles one way. The furthest, 225 one way. We drive down, play, and drive back. We never spend the night. Now, we're not in the old yellow school bus, and I'm not doing the driving. But our school district owns 6 of those big transport eagles, whatever they're called. And they pay the driver, and we do a lot of sleeping and that sort of thing on the bus to and from the game. Now you say, well, when do they go to school? They go to school on that bus. Every girl that has homework or is behind, we check as she comes on the bus. Have you got your homework? Where are your books? And they study. We check on them about every 3 weeks. How's your grade, Susie? Well, I got a little. How's your grade, Susie? It's doing fine, Coach. If they need a little time during our practice, hey, Coach, I got to go take a test in French today. Bring me a note from the teacher, and I expect you back here as soon as you're through. We let them go, take that test. After all, academics is what it's all about. You know, I sit up here and labor on and labor on about how good athletics is. If they don't get an education, it's not worth a dime. Not worth a dime. Our kids must maintain a C average or they are declared ineligible for one semester. I don't know what it is in Oklahoma. A lot of coaches fight it. We don't fight it. We think it's there, and we think that's what it ought to be. You know, I drove when I got to Oakwood, I said the first place I'm going to go is see if I can find the Marshall's home. I lived with Grandma and Grandpa, Carlin, Maxine, when I was here. Two wonderful people. They took me in just like I was a son. And you know, I think I found it, but I'm not sure. But as soon as I came in, it just like I used to do, it straight down that street. And anyway, brings back a lot of good memories. I think the thing that in the girls' game at that time, I may be wrong, but I think I'm right, was the first year you could have unlimited dribble. And you should have seen some of these young ladies trying to dribble more than one bounce. Quit hiding your face down there. It was good. I want you to go with me just a little bit. When you get tired of me talking, get the hook. Because when I get started, sometimes I don't know when to quit each day. Just throw up your hand and say, that's all or something. Try to go with me if you can. From 1949 to 1950, or since the time you left good old Oakwood High School, and tell me where you were at as I pause once in a while. Just think about it. 1949, 1950, or 1951, excuse me. First thing I think of is the Korean War. Korean War, as I say, I think we fought to a draw there. I finished the district tournament here on a Friday night and reported to the United States Air Force the next Tuesday morning. Where were you? 1952, got out of the Air Force, had an interview for a coaching job at Fort, Oklahoma. I was still in uniform. They kept me waiting in the car till 2 a.m. before they told me whether I had the job or not. Finally, the superintendent come out and said, oh, we've been doing other things. I said, yeah, you got the job about 10:30. Back into coaching. Probably should have stayed in the Air Force. 1954, got a $300 raise, moved to another school in the same county, Burns Flat. Well, in those days, if you got a $100 raise, you packed your bags and moved. You know what I started in Oakwood? Had a college degree. $2,250 for 9 months. My sons don't understand that. I said, there's a lot of things you'll never understand. $1955. That day, you know, Roosevelt said 41 would go down in infamy. 1955 will go down for me. I got tired of running. I got married. 1955. Got another $100 raise to move to Hobart, Oklahoma. I keep wanting to say New Mexico. Hobart, Oklahoma, to take a basketball and football job. I've been coaching basketball all these years and never had the opportunity to coach football. So I took the 100 and moved. 1950, about 58, 59, I was appointed vice principal of the high school at Hobart, but still had to coach. They had never won a district tournament with their girls program. By the way, I went to Hobart to get the girls program going, or that's the alibi they used to get me down here. I took the 100. Anyway, they had never won a girls district tournament. In fact, they hadn't had girls basketball very long. They'd had it umpteen years ago, and a girl got killed during a ball game, and the community just dropped the sport and brought it back in the middle 50s. Anyway, I'm down there. I last 5 years winning district tournaments and never could get them out of the region. Where were you in 1955? 1960. My old freshman coach in college had taken the athletic director's job at Clovis, New Mexico. Clovis, New Mexico. Wow, that's out in the desert. I thought. He said, come out, give you a job. You're the vice principal, I know, but we'll give you a classroom job. You coach baseball and football. I said, well, how much? You know, it's a $2,000 raise then. So I load my family and my furnishings in a cattle truck, bobtail cattle truck too. Moved to Clovis, New Mexico. 1965, getting closer. You got it figured out where you were at? Good. 1965, was offered the football job at Anaheim, California. Boy, California. Wow. How much money? Oh, be a little bit. We loaded up and go to California. Coach Anaheim football, come home for Christmas holiday. And all this time, I didn't think everything was just smooth at home. Come find out my wife hated it. Too many people for her. Anyway, come home for Christmas holiday, and they we stopped in Clovis, visited old friends, and they said, hey, if you come back, we'll give you an administrative job at the high school. I should have never told my wife. By January 2, we were back in Clovis. Anyway, it worked out. Now, we've been in Clovis ever since. I got out of the school business during the early 70s. Now, if you were in our situation in the late 60s, early 70s, everything had a little bit of a rough edge. Vietnam War wasn't very popular. The races weren't very happy with each other. They were till somebody told them they weren't. We had a little bit of a riot on our high school campus. Lasted about 30 minutes. By the time the newspapers and press was through with it, it was about a 30-day job. I said, there's surely more to life than this. So I quit. Went into the real estate business. Selling farms and ranches. Driving my own airplane. Wow, driving my own airplane. I flew over Oakwood and like not recognize it from the air. We did a lot of work around Watonga, and I'd be down in here. And I said, I'm going to fly over Oakwood and see if I can recognize him. Anyway, 1975, the athletic director offered me the job, said, hey, you want to get back in, finish your retirement? I said, what do you want me to do? He said, take a football job at a junior high. I said, I'll be there come September 1. So that's how I got back into coaching. Haven't regretted it a minute. Schools begin to lose population. Something happened to the crop, you know, it dropped off there for a little bit. So if a coach or a teacher quit, they didn't replace them. They just reassigned. You done any of that, Mr. Hort? Uh-huh. So the principal called me in. He said, by the way, you did want the girls' basketball job, didn't you? I said, do I have a choice? I'm coaching football, one sport. I've got to make it. He said, no. I said, I'll be glad to. Yeah, I'll get you out of here. I've been doing that ever since. Now, we have a program that I'm involved in, and what I was doing in Seattle is called Junior Olympics Girls Basketball. I had a team that I thought was pretty good, so I enter in this and find out there's something going on. It's played in the summer. Gave me a chance to work my girls all during the school year, plus the summertime. The Activity Association can put you on whatever they want to put you on, if you do it for the AAU. So I got to play 2 seasons with my kids. Still going on. In fact, right now I coach JV girls. I wouldn't take the varsity, but I will help the varsity. That was my agreement. My JV girls are 63-0. The last game they lost, and I'm going to brag a little bit. Now I got good kids. We're coaching good kids. The last game they lost was December the 19th, 1985. Now, why? They're not overcoached. We let them play a little bit. We play full court, and I get 2 seasons a year out of them. That's why they're better than everybody else. 63-0. I thought I'd never top 33-0, EJ. See, so I probably ought to quit, don't you think, Mr. Hort? You know, while I'm winning this, you know, be a good time to quit, look. Okay, I've got one other. I wear another hat, too. By the way, when I talked to Eddie, I said, what do you want me to talk about? No, I said just anything, just, you know, tell them what you've done and try to let them think about what they've done. I'm commissioner of officials for the state of New Mexico, football and basketball. I make all the assignments for every game in the eastern part of the state. If you don't do a good job, Harold, and I get word of it, I'll come look at you. If you don't do a good job, I'll take a game away from you. If they don't do it, I'll take 2. Pretty soon, though, I run out of referees, so I'm pretty lean. But anyway, that's basically what I do. Also, supervisor officials for a junior college league. And those college coaches are just, they're something else. I won't get into that too much. One thing I was never able to do in the state of Oklahoma was get a team into the state tournament as a team to play. When I went to Hobart, they said, we'll let you officiate if you want to, and we'll try to arrange our scheduling around your officiating schedule. You know, in Oklahoma, as a teacher, you have to do everything in the world to pay the bills. Okay, I'm married. A youngster on the way. So I went to refereeing. The second year after I started full-time refereeing, I worked the state tournament. I got there. The next year I worked the state tournament. So I've been there twice. I finally got in the state tournament. Wasn't the way I wanted to get there, but I finally got in. I have 2 youngsters. One of them is a college history professor. I don't know where you got that, but anyway. He teaches history at Western Oklahoma State College. The other son, now he's a New Mexico grad, and my rebel son, which is, he's 25, he signed up and was accepted to the, what they call a PSL program, where you go to school 1 semester, go overseas and track satellites for the Navy a semester, or 8 months, back, and so on. So he got involved in that. He finally got out, Oklahoma State University. I'll show you how mixed up he is. Other than coming from New Mexico and back to Oklahoma, and so he has to pay out-of-state tuition and all that good stuff. He has a degree in forestry working downtown Dallas. I said, son, are you sure you got the degree in forestry? He said, I've got it, Dad, and here it is. But anyway, that's been my 30-some years. Sometimes I've wavered a little, but I can always come back and say, well, I've had some success with people like the teams I had at Oakwood, the faculty I had to work with at Oakwood, the leadership that I had at Oakwood. But what really gives me the edge, makes me feel proud, is when the guys come up and still call me Coach or Carroll. They're a success. And there again, what is the word success? If you have happiness in your life, If you have happiness in your life, you are a success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Coach. Well, I received several letters from people that couldn't be here, and here's one I'm going to read to you. It's from Robert Bob Price, class of 28. He lived at 601 Hartford Avenue, Stillwater. Retired OSU professor for 12 years. He's got 3 children. He says, sorry to miss again this year, but we send you up a cheer. When the sun goes down and the moon comes up, Oakwood will shine. Let it be a good gathering of the faithful, Bob Price. P.S. I'm sending this because I want to take advantage of the 22-cent rate. This is the 35th former student banquet. Article from the Oakwood Bobcat newspaper, April 1st, 1953. First alumni banquet was held. The Oakwood Home Administration Club gave an alumni banquet Saturday night, April 4th. There were approximately 160 in attendance. This includes the former classmates and their husbands or wives. We're going to get into the guests, introducing the guests. I'm going to give that job to Virgil Rogers. Virgil?
And one thing I want to say is, as soon as we get over with, we want a picture of Carroll Graham and all the guys that were on that team back here at the end of the trophy case. They want to get a picture of all of it and see what you look like now as very thin. Anyway, I would like for all the people in the crowd who worked for the Oakwood School, teachers, bus drivers, custodians, cooks, and any time that you work in the Oakwood school system, stand up, identify yourself, and tell us when you were here. Mr. Horse, would you start?
Teacher and whatnot, 4958. My wife helped me in the month. Virgil, I not only went 12 years here, but I was also privileged to teach 2 different times here at Oakwood. In 1963 and 65.
Thank you, Eddie.
The other day, I wrote to 61, 52.
Very good.
Play a little basketball, too.
Well, basically, I drove to school back in 47 and 48.
Very good.
My name is Ann Austin, and I took here for about 8 years on the school bus. Kevin Baker, and I was here at 43 and 44.
Any others?
I drove to school bus 60 and 61.
Okay, any others? Okay, I think what we do, we used to do this every year, go down the line and introduce ourselves individually. I'm Virgil Rogers, and I graduated from Oakwood in 1955. I live in Oklahoma City.
I'm Jimmy Irvine. I graduated in 1966, and we had 28 degree record. We was almost as good as you guys were. This is my wife's Patty. I'm sorry.
I'm Gene Max, I graduated in 1950, and I am here
Mary Newport, Mulberry, my husband Tim, our only son Keith, and friend Steve Walker.
White Laird, 56, this is my wife Val, I live in Milwaukee.
Tracy Bush, Kennedy, class of 34, I live here. Ryan Huckins, my husband Dean, and Diamond, in class of 39. Fern Marshall, Louisville, I live in Colorado Springs, class of 1941.
Page 45. My wife Carroll, class of 50. We live in Carson.
Marshall Ford, class of 53.
Eddie Beck, class of 53. My wife Frida.
Joyce here, Holtzapfel, class of 58.
Gail Holtzapfel, 58.
Geraldine Roberts Weber, class of 59, lives in Wetumpka.
Bob Weber, class of 58, also with Clyde Walker, class of 58. My wife Martha, we live at Top.
Donald Rogers, class of 64, Oakwood. Andrew Baker, class of 55, Montgomery.
Leroy Walker, class of 59. I live at Thomas, and this is my wife Nell.
Mary David Ashby, class of 58, and I live at Kansas, that's my husband Percy.
Lisa Roberts Moore, this is my husband Warren, and we live in Edith.
Clemma Manton Roberts,
I graduated here in Oakwood in 1935. My husband and I still live here in Oakwood.
I'm Glenn Burnside, 46, I live in Wichita.
Blanche Burnside Hole, I graduated in 1933, and I live here. Carol Burnside Ryan, class of 43.
I live there also.
I'd have to Marshall Brown.
Wayne Laird, class of 56, this is my wife Dina, we live in Fort Worth. Wayne Klein, we graduated 61, this is my wife Virginia, and we live in Wetumpka.
Johnson, class of 38, this is my wife Nadine, we live in Thomas. Wendell Heine, 1934, my wife Willow. Eddie Fedor, 1950, my wife Norma, we live in Houston.
TJ Roach, class of 50, my wife Laura, we live in Auto.
Larry, class of 50, this is my wife Paul.
Julianne Pace, and I graduated in 65, and live out on the farm.
Real thing, 50/50, we're on the farm.
Melvin Robinette, I said, I still live in 46 and 47, I live in Canton, that's my wife Nell.
Tom Foster, I live in Perry, Oklahoma, and I graduated in 66.
Shirley Irving Swan, graduated in 1955.
Jeff Irving, 1961.
Mark Beckhoff, I went to grade school and graduated in Cologne in 76. This is my wife, Becky.
Johnson, class of 39. Lorraine Hyde Ivy, I live in Knoxville, Tennessee, class of 39.
I was very fine, Ryan.
Maybe, but then go back here. found out I wasn't gonna get her credit, so I quit.
I'm Roberta Line, and I live in Oklahoma City. My husband is, I graduated after school.
Good, glad to report it.
Tim Baker, class 41, and this is my wife, Becky, my baby down the road here in Myron. Well, I was there.
I'm Nola Fielder Jackson, I live in Oklahoma City, and the class of 41.
Betty Wright Crawford, and class of 41, live in Oakwood. I'm Martha Hutton Simpson. This is my husband Jared, and we now reside in Phoenix, Oklahoma.
My granddaughter, Amy. I graduated in 6th.
Ruth Russ Rose, and class of 71.
Bob Rhodes, class of 68, and I live right here.
I'm Betty Wilkerson Snodgrass, class of 52. I live here in 50. This is my husband, Francis Snodgrass, and we live in El Reno.
Peggy Pate Abner, I lived here in 52. I would have graduated in 54. And this is my husband, Davey Abner, we live in El Reno.
Come on, Mom. Every sign in Susan, and I've got all my kids here tonight, and I've already seen Right. He was with me today, and we had fun. I enjoyed the day very much.
Carroll, graduated in 70, and I lived in Las Vegas with my wife.
James Blacklock, 551, Central Arkansas.
I'm Marilyn Irving Olson, graduated in 1961. I have some really special guests here tonight I'd like to introduce. My sister-in-law, Robin, my niece, Carla Kay, her friend Wade, my nephew, Kip, and his friend, Carroll.
I'm Clyde Irving, class of 1971. This is my wife and I, and we live in Mutual, Oklahoma.
I'm Rick Irving, I graduated in 55, this is my wife.
Goldie's raised Bluefield, who's in the class of 44. This is my husband, Jim Bluefield, who lives in Loveland, Colorado.
Georgia Brandon Slade, and I graduated in 32, and I lived down the highway.
Well, Shane, I graduated in 1960, and this is my wife Pam, and we just live up the road from down the highway.
Kenneth Lund, I graduated in 54. My wife Carroll, I live in Melbourne, Missouri.
I'm Jim Lyon, I graduated in 52, we live in Greenville, Oklahoma.
Calvin Holtz, Calvin Holtz, class of 52. This is my wife Opal, we live in Tulsa.
I'm Alone Underwood, I live in Diamond, Missouri, and I would have been class of 57. Kathy Schaefer Dandridge,
Mr. Lewis, who lives in Oklahoma City, and I was in class of 60. Julianne Roper Peterman, and I was in class of 60. And I live in Laverne, Jason Road, Kansas.
Howard Burkhart, my wife Joanne, I graduated in 47, we live in Wellston, Oklahoma.
I'm Lana Mae Eagles Ward, and I graduated in 32, and this is my daughter, Lisa Ward, and my grandson, Trevor Ward, and we're from Carroll, Oklahoma.
RJ Page, 48,
Gilbert Irving Page, 47. And it's about to cover graduated one thing for that.
Over there, my wife Shirley, class 51, we live in Hazel, Kansas.
Bernie Scott Rogers, and I was over the class of 39, but of course we did help her, so I didn't graduate.
Debbie Elmore Peterman, class of 54, and I live up there by Rupert, what's her name?
I live at Oakwood, graduated in 1950, my wife Deb.
That's all. Class of 46, my wife, Baker, class of 46 also. We live just down.
R.L. Baker, class of 48. That way, that's Oakwood, Texas. Dale Hall, class of 55, and this is my wife Judy, who lives in Belfield. I'm Lewis Moore, my wife Barbara, we live in Belfield. I don't remember the past 6, 7 years.
Randy Taylor, I live in Oakwood, we live in class of 73,
Alma Baker Ansel, I graduated in 1952, and I live out southwest of town.
I'm Fred Klein, my wife Maria, class of 59.
I recently bought my car, and I live in Everett, and I have a friend with me, Dale Klein. I'm Elizabeth Tidball, used to be a stringer, and I was graduated with such class of 39, but I thought I needed to get married and be a housewife, so I quit before I got to school in high school. This is my husband, Robert Tidball, he went to school.
I went to school here in the fall of 1920 and spring of 21. Melvin Tidball.
I'm Maxine Coleman Stein, and my husband
And I think those of our class who are here tonight is Fred Johnson and Maureen Lachey Slade. Then why?
I'm Bob Coleman. I graduated in that question mark year over there, 1943, and I lived in Bethany, which had no twin cities in its suburbs. I'm Bill Coleman, class 4.
I live on Reynolds House. My husband Fred, class of 49. We live on Washington.
Oklahoma won 86-78.
We'll applaud you too.
And I just thank the Lord I've been here 35 years. I hope I can come 35 more. I'm Dorothy Hutton Forster, and I graduated in 1936 in Oakwood Elementary Country School, or that is called West Point. And we were the first class to take a trip from the Oakwood. And we got Albert Booth down here running Philly. And he had an over to bus, and he hauled people around to bring them to church. And he allowed us to take that bus and go out for a trip to Carroll Banquet. And we just had a wonderful time. We had 5 flats on the way.
Carroll, Colorado, and that's somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 miles south of Buckingham, Colorado, where I hear that Goldie graduated. Is that right, Goldie?
Well, it could be. It could be.
You live in Buckingham.
No, we live in Loveland. Loveland, Colorado.
I heard you lived in Buckingham at one time, or in that. Join Blake, class 52, and I'll be at 20 and drinking with you.
Okay, thank you all. We'd now like to see the class with the largest number here. Is there any class with more than 6? What? 6. There. Rupert, stand up. Rupert. Yes, George.
Wife and I, Sandy Reed down there. Glenroy, somewhere, and Evans Point.
Okay, is there anybody that can't afford the 2,000 miles? The 1,500 miles? The 1,000 miles? Okay, how many, Cheryl? How many? Okay, now what's your picture too? Okay, we're looking now for the oldest graduate present from the Oakwood School. Who graduated in 25 or before? Okay, 1925, 1926, 27, 28, 29, 1930. No winners, Chris. 1930. Okay, now we want the family with the largest number of graduates present. Bunch of marshals over there. How many are there this time? 8? 6? Okay. Anybody more than 6? No. Okay, marshals is the largest family. I also have a little thing here I'd like to read to you. It says the way we were. We were before television, before penicillin, the pills, polio shots, antibiotics, and frisbees. Before frozen foods, nylon, Dacron, Xerox, and Kinsey. We were before radar, fluorescent light, credit cards, ballpoint pens. For us, time sharing went together. A chip meant a piece of wood, not a part of a computer. Hardware meant hardware. Software wasn't even a word. In those days, bunnies were small rabbits, and rabbits were not Volkswagen. We were before Batman, Rudolph, the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and Snoopy. Before DDT and vitamin pills, disposable diapers, Jeeps, and the Jefferson nickel. Before Scotch State, M&M's, the automatic shift, and Lincoln Continentals. When we were young, peaches, Cheerios, frozen orange juice, instant coffee, and McDonald's were unheard of. We thought fast food was what you ate during Lent. We were before the FM radio, tape recorders, electric typewriters, word processors, music, electronic music, and disco dancing. We were before pantyhose and drip-dry clothes, before ice makers and dishwashers, clothes dryers, freezers, and electric blankets. Before men wore long hair and earrings, and women wore tuxedos. We got married first, and then lived together. That's the way it should be. In our day, cigarette smoking was fashion. Grass was mowed, coke was something you drank, and pot was something you cooked in. We were before coin vending machines, jet planes, helicopters, and interstate highways. In our day, made in Japan meant junk, and the term making out referred to how you did on an exam. In our time, there were 5 and 10 cent stores where you could buy things for 5 and 10 cents. For just one nickel, you could ride the streetcar, make a phone call, buy a Coke, or buy enough stamps to mail 1 letter and 2 postcards. You could buy a new Chevy Coupe for $600, but who could afford that in 1935? Nobody. Penny too, because gas was 11 cents a gallon. We were not before the difference between the sexes and discovered, but we were before sex changes. We just made do with what we had. And so it was in 1935. This is the way we were and we loved it. Thank you.
We got two people that's made every alumni banquet up to date. I'll have them stand up. Well, we've got a special presentation here. I'm going to turn this over to... What? We got a special presentation here. I'm going to turn this over to Clyde Irvin. Clyde?
Billy Jack Tate, you know, and Dickie Kazort, Carroll Graham, Roy Rogers, is all the same. You know? One of the reasons why I come back every year is because all my heroes live right here in Oakwood, or at least come to the Oakwood High School banquet. Sometimes we lose a hero. And last year, right after the banquet, we lost one of our very own heroes. He was born in Oakwood, right up here on the hill. He graduated valedictorian of his class, went to Oklahoma State University, was president of the student body, graduated there and went to Purdue University. From there he started his own company and traveled all over the world. He once sat down and told me about being on the Great Wall of China. And last year after he passed away, we found out he had finished up his life on President Reagan's Committee for the Unfinished Agenda. I'd like a representative from the class of 1959 to receive a token of our appreciation to Oakwood, and hopefully we'll start a presentation that'll continue every year for those of us who've excelled in life, and we'll make it an honor roll to place a plaque over here in the trophy case for our outstanding alumni. Would Betty Lance or one of the members of 1959 class come forward? Betty, we'd like to give this to the class of 1959 in honor of Dr. Reuben Mack Irving, who graduated here in 1959, and we entrust you with it, put it in the trophy case where you choose. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We all thought a lot of Mac as we went through our schoolhood days. And we hated to lose him, but we know that he was everything we knew he could be. We thank you.
Thank you, Betty. Well, I'd like to take this time to thank all the people who helped me put this together, especially my wife, doing all the decorations, people that took the money, doing the registrations, helped set up the tables and everything. I'd like to thank them a whole lot. Give them all a big hand.